गिरवारधारी जय वल्लभा यशोदानन्दन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदा यमुना तेरा वनचारी
गोपीदाना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण
यशोदानन्दना भज जन रंजन यशोदानन्दना भज जन रंजन
हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण कृष्ण
यशोदानन्दना भज जन रंजन
हरे राम राम राम
यशोदानन्दना भज जन रंजन
कृष्ण कृष्ण
यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तेरा वनचारी
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे
राधा
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि
कृष्ण
भक्तवृंद
कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद
जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे राधा माधव जय गौरनिता जय गौरनिता गौरनिता जय गौरनिता जय निता जय गौरनिता
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय 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 विश्वपाद भगवत प्रकाशाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की इस्कॉन बीबीडी फाउंडर चर्च श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय विश्वपाद भगवत प्रकाशाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार श्रीला हरिदास ठाकुर की वृंदावन सद गोस्वामी प्रभुन की प्रेम से कहिए जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की ब्रजभूमि मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की श्री श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगा माँ यमुना माँ की भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की निताई गौर प्रेमानंदी
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम हरे राम
वैष्णवां
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम हरे राम
श्री राधा कृष्ण पादां सहगणविकासान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे
जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा
पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
प्रभुपादा प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा प्रभुपादा जय गुरुदेवा जय प्रभुपादा प्रभुपादा जय गुरुदेवा निताय गौर हरिबाल 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 निताय गौर बाल हरिबाल 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 हम विष्णुपाद सुतर सतु शिलाभाई चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी जगद्गुरु
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्णा
नमाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर
राम हरे
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि श्री श्री मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय श्री श्री नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय पुरुषोत्तम तीर्थ जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय गंगा माई जमुना माई की जय भक्ति देवी की जय तुलसी महारानी की जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय भगवान नरसिंह देव की जय भक्तराज प्रहलाद महाराज की जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय समवेत भक्तविंद की जय निताय गौर सीतनाथ प्रेमानंदे
तत्कृपातं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम्
ओम अज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः।
So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, chapter 12, verse number 19.
स्वयं रूपा कदामयं ददाति पदान्तिकं वन्दे हयं
tapasaiva param jyotir
श्री गुरु न वैष्णवांश
bhagavantam adhokṣajam
सहगना
sarva-bhūta-guhāvāsam
साधुतं सवदूतं
añjasā vindate pumān
कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा
tapasaiva paraṁ jyotir
सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितां
bhagavantam adhokṣajam
विष्णु पदाय Krishna Vistaya
sarva-bhūta-guhāvāsam
Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami
añjasā vindate pumān
Namaste Saraswati Deve
tapasaiva param
Gauravani
jyotir
Pacharine Nirvishesha
bhagavantam
Sunnavadi
adhokṣajam
Pasatta Desha Tarine
sarva-bhūta-guhāvāsam
Sindhu Dinabandhu
añjasā
Jagatpate
vindate pumān
Gopesha Gopika Kanto Radha Kanto Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishobhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarurvasya Kipa Sindhu Vayevacha Patitanang Pavanebho Vaishnavebho Namo Namaha Jayo Chri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Binda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya
añjasā vindate pumān
Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya
sarva-bhūta-guhāvāsam
Narayanang Namaskritam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Deving Saraswating Vyasam Tato Jayo
tapasaiva
Mudiraye
param
Nasta
jyotir
Praishu Abhadreshu Nityang
bhagavantam
Bhagavato
adhokṣajam
Sevaya Bhagavata Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki
añjasā vindate pumān tapasaiva param jyotir bhagavantam adhokṣajam sarva-bhūta-guhāvāsam
Manish number
añjasā vindate pumān tapasaiva param jyotir bhagavantam adhokṣajam
tapasaiva paraṁ jyotiḥ bhagavantam adhokṣajam
tapasā by penance
sarva-bhūta-guhā-āvāsam
eva only param the
añjasā
supreme
vindate pumān
jyotir light bhagavantam
tapasaiva paraṁ
unto the
jyotiḥ
personality of Godhead adhokṣajam
bhagavantam adhokṣajam
he who is beyond the approach of
sarva-bhūta-guhā-āvāsam
the senses sarva-bhūta-guhā-āvāsam residing in the heart of all living entities añjasā completely vindate can know pumān a person. Now translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation: by penance only can one even approach the personality of Godhead, who is within the heart of every living entity and at the same time beyond the reach of all senses. Rudra was advised by Brahmā to perform penance as an example to his sons and followers that penance is necessary for attaining the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Bhagavad-gītā it is said that the common mass of people follow the path shown by an authority. Thus Brahmā, disgusted with the Rudra generation and afraid of being devoured by the increase of population, asked Rudra to stop producing such an unwanted generation and take to penance for attaining the favor of the Supreme Lord. We find therefore in pictures that Rudra is always sitting in meditation for the attainment of the favor of the Lord. Indirectly, the sons and followers of Rudra are advised to stop the business of annihilation, following the Rudra principle, while the peaceful creation of Brahma is going on.
vindate pumān.
Hare Krishna. So, I welcome all of you for today's Srimad Bhagavatam class.
paraṁ jyotiḥ.
Also, I would like to seek blessing from all the devotees
bhagavantam
present here.
adhokṣajam.
Please bless me so that I can say some words
sarva-bhūta-guhāvāsam.
for the glorification of the Lord and for my own purification,
añjasā
especially many
vindate
senior
pumān.
devotees, Prabhupada disciples, His Grace Rameshwar Prabhu, His Grace
tapasaiva paraṁ
and many others.
jyotiḥ.
So, as this chapter entitled Creation of the Kumaras and Others. So, from the very beginning, just have a little brief that what is happening over here. So, as Brahma, he was ordered, he was doing penance, and Lord, he said that
tapasā
whatever you were desiring actually, that was already granted.
keval
So, okay, he comes,
param
and then first
jyotir,
the four Kumaras comes, and then
bhagavantam
Brahma says that
Parameshwar
please
Bhagavan
do
ke
the service of procreation,
adhokṣajam.
and they immediately
Jini
say,
indriya anubhuti
no,
roti.
we cannot take up this service.
sarva-bhūta
And now, because of his anger,
guhāvāsam.
he was trying to
Jini
control,
samasta
and then
jiver
Rudra appeared,
hridaye birāj karen.
and Rudra was, he was
Añjasā
crying and different things, and then he was
sampurna
given
rupe.
this service of procreating and
Vindate.
filling this universe,
jante
and he
parajaya.
was creating different kind of
pumān
varieties of his species,
purush.
which was devastating
Anubhad
actually.
tattvajya
They are
sile
not doing
Sri
any
Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki
right
jai.
procreation.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
And then in the
tapasā
previous
দ্বারাই
verse,
কেবল
we saw that how
পরমেশ্বর ভগবানের
Brahmaji approaches
সমবর্তী
Rudra,
হওয়া যায়।
and he
যিনি
says that, O best of the demigods,
সকলের
there
হৃদয়ে
is no need
বিরাজ-
for you to generate living
বিরাজমান হওয়া
entities of
সত্ত্বেও
this nature.
ইন্দ্রিয়ের
They have
উপলব্ধির
begun to
অতীত। সবাই
devastate
বলুন,
everything on all
তপস্যার দ্বারাই
sides with the fiery flames
কেবল
from their eyes.
পরমেশ্বর ভগবানের
And they have even attacked
সম-
me. So very particular thing, they have attacked me. Many times I see that there are some problems, even in, like, I just take the example of myself. Problems are there, but it is not visible till the problem comes to me. So very well, definitely Brahma knows that what is happening, but still in general sometimes it happens in my life that problems are there. I have to see, I have to acknowledge, and I have to rectify those things. But I am just ignorant of myself that okay, things are going on nicely. So this is one of the things that until these things comes to us, we can't realize it, that how painful or difficult things are there. So anyway, Brahma, he is seeing that okay, these all personalities are not good. So let's stop your business for some time, go for doing meditation. And very important for this, this sloka says, by penance only one can even approach the personality Godhead, who is within the heart of every living entity, and at the same time beyond the reach of all the senses. So Brahma knows that he had been given this kind of particular service. Why he has been given? So that all the living entities, those who have different desires, different material desires to fulfill, so they have come to this material world. Now they need body, so this all procreation will happen. And later they will be purified in due course of time, and then they will realize that yes, they have to go back to Godhead. And especially here, he is kind of giving a hint to the Rudra, that you are going for doing penance. Now at particular time, I am just stopping your whatever activities are there. But you have to ultimately approach the Supreme Personality Godhead. You also have to go back to Godhead. It's not that we will remain here forever. So one hint has been already given here, and as the previous chapter we have heard that how Sankarsan, he became angry while seeing the living entities, that after receiving so much opportunity for advancing in Krishna consciousness, but repeatedly they have gone down. So he becomes angry, and then the fire comes, and then he started devouring the different planets. So here definitely Brahmaji is trying to give understanding that what actually Lord wants from you, that you have to go back to Godhead. This is not your permanent place to be here. But conveying this message is very difficult. At present also we see, when we go to convey this message, very difficult. Like yesterday, Gita Jayanti and different places, I hope many of you have taken the opportunity to go out and distribute books. And you might have found that, okay, many persons, they are unwilling to accept these teachings. So it was not only those devotees' case, but those personalities' case, but it is like mine also. But devotees were very merciful that they have taken so much pain. They have taken so much pain just to make us devotee. I was just thinking about, that how much Prabhupada took the pain. As Brahmaji here, he has seen that this is very dangerous job, because these all living entities will get complicated or implicated in this material world. But still, he cannot escape from this service. Very important. Many times different type of services comes in our life. We feel that why this service is for me, because even after doing this kind of service, I will be getting the chastisement, I will be harassed, I will be done, so many things will happen to me. So many times we just talk, okay, Prabhuji, I can do my chantings and different things. But for Brahmaji, there was no scope, because Lord has given him the service that yes, you have to perform this service. So no escape. And even like for Prabhupada also, when he went to the West, he was knowing that how difficult it is to preach over there. Before going there only, he had the experience in India, whether it was League of Devotee, preaching to the Delhi and different areas. And he printed Bhagavatam, and although India was known for the land of religion, dharma, people were pious, he gave Srimad Bhagavatam sets actually to different bookstores, libraries, and then he was taking account of that, okay, how many sold? And then he finds, okay, nobody took it. So it was so difficult, but still, okay, now he has the call from his spiritual master that, okay, you have to take sannyas, and now you have to go and preach. Prabhupada himself, he was feeling so unworthy that he was thinking that, how can I preach? I am not yet qualified. But his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, repeatedly he is coming in his dream and he is saying that, okay, take sannyas and go and preach. And he could not contain himself, and then he takes sannyas and then goes to the US. And I hope most of us, we know that how Prabhupada is writing that when he reached first to the Boston, that it was filled with all passion and ignorance. And it was not easy job to preach them, because one David who was there, who was assisting Prabhupada, one day he attacked him. The same Brahmaji is trying to do some good thing to these personalities, but rather they are taking advantage of that, they are attacking the Brahmā directly. So there are various examples, in Prabhupada's life, that how one time he was explaining about different varnas, first class, second class, third, fourth, and then one of the audience, he just asked, which category or which class you belongs? And Prabhupada says, fifth class, because I am serving these all four classes. So how humble, because in presence of so many persons, many times it is humiliating situation to convey the message of Lord to others. Very difficult. Many Prabhupada disciples are here, they know that how when they were distributing books, doing kirtan, because that was the order of the spiritual master, and they were put behind the jail. So difficult, many times humiliating experiences for all of us, if we take this kind of sometimes service. It's not easy all the time. But yes, they have taken this pain, only one desire, that they want to please his spiritual master. That's all. No other business. And for here Brahmaji, he has this understanding that yes, he has to please Lord, because Lord is only a spiritual master for him. but difficult job to make him understand. And very important that first of all, he had already experienced. Those who were in the mode of goodness, the Chatuskumar, already said that no. And now he has to approach him and he has to tell him that, okay, stop it. And at the top of that, he has to tell him for doing penance. So this kind of personality is very difficult actually to perform different kind of penances. But that is only the process. I was reading Prabhupada's lecture actually. So Prabhupada very mercifully, he gave a contrast that okay, what is penance for us in this material world, at least for this Kali Yuga. So first of all, Prabhupada, he started that why it is important to do penance. By penance only we can approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, I could not understand actually, the mood maybe that the disciples can understand that what was the scenario over there. But then Prabhupada started explaining about different yogis. The different yogis, they are going to the mountain in this cold air and it's freezing. And they don't have any clothes on their body, sometimes on the scorching sunlight, they are exposing their body. So one by one he started explaining. And then he is saying that this is the austerity which the sages were performing. But what is the problem with us? Can't you do the small austerity? And then he comes for the four relative principles. He's saying that I'm not saying that no illicit sex, no sex, I'm saying no illicit sex. Can't you do that? Something like that. So, and then fasting, he's saying on Ekadasi, generally, we should fast. Nirjal Ekadasi. It was like quite hammering. And then Prabhupada saying, but you can take fruits, milk. So I was thinking that how much concession Prabhupada is giving. That okay, you can't do it, take it this much. So these are the different gates actually, how the spiritual master, he is seeing the condition of the different living entities and he becomes so merciful towards them that he finds the ways that how they can advance from their so degraded platform. So definitely in Kali Yuga, as the day will progress, these all things will come up more and more. And the preachers, we should be more expert in devising different plans so that all the living entities, they can go back to Godhead. So here as we are seeing that how it was very difficult for these kind of personalities, those who are, business is only destruction. And giving them advice, difficult. But at present we see that, okay, how, unless we understand that how we can channelize this kind of different souls actually in the service of Lord, it becomes very difficult. Because what happens that sometimes due to our some interest, self-interest I would say, some devotees they have, some devotee in the sense, take some of the example from Srimad Bhagavatam, especially here, the Vidura example if we see, in the this third canto only, first chapter, the verse number 6. Yada tu raja swasutan sadhun pushnanna dharmena vinasdrishti bhratur yavistasya sutan vibandhun praveshya laksha bhavane dada. So said, Sri Shukdev Goswami said, King Dhritarashtra became blind under the influence of impious desires to nourish his dishonest sons, and thus he set fire to the lacquer house to burn his fatherless nephew, the Pandavas. So Dhritarashtra, he was fully blind, and then especially it is said that impious desire to nourish his dishonest son. That he had some desire, that he wanted to be king for all the time. Although knowing that yes, this material world, even this is going to destroy, my lifespan is also very small. But Dhritarashtra was thinking that I will be king forever. So whatever things was happening, he was giving kind of mauन approval, silent approval to his son Duryodhan. And then at one of the point that later in this verse chapter only, we see that Vidura was called actually for advice, because the war was about to begin, and then Vidur gives very nice advice that you have to discard this envious personality. If you keep it, it will ruin your whole family dynasty. I'm just paraphrasing the thing. And then he takes, very good, like this, very obedient servant. And then he never works on that. So I was thinking that this is the same thing actually. At present also this is happening. Because around the world, I hope if you are aware of the different news, what is happening in the world, different personalities, they have made their own proxy groups and different things. And they are thinking that they can lord over different countries. And because of this, terrorism and other things has come up. So they are thinking that, okay, I can enjoy, my life will be okay because I have this kind of personalities. They can do anything for me. They can die. But very difficult, because we have to understand the nature of this kind of personalities. Because they will do always the destruction, no matter who. Now they may be fighting on behalf of you, but if they don't find someone, then they will fight with you. The same thing, different countries, I don't want to mention the names, we have seen that they were using these kind of proxy things for the others. And then they were suffering because of that only. So until the leaders, they understand their responsibility. That yes, what is my responsibility? Now I want to live peaceful in this material world, which is not possible, but still a kind of peaceful situation. So I should not, oil this kind of different negative agendas. Rather, I should engage everyone in the service of the Lord. And I have recent, very heinous acts was about to be done. Some government, they were trying to ban ISKCON. Although ISKCON was doing so much thing, George Harrison Prabhu and different personality, they did so much thing. But still they were trying to ban ISKCON. Although they were doing so much. So we can understand that how much their consciousness is degraded. Means those who are trying to do good something to you, you are trying to kill them. That's all. So what is the hope for them? No hope. So they will not have the understanding. So they have to take shelter of the devotees, what they are trying to do. And Lord Brahma is exact doing what he actually, Lord wants actually. And that's what Prabhupada is saying in the Purport. Yad yad achriti srishta tat tadeva tarjuna sayat parmanam krute lokas tadanvartate. That is the leader's duty. What is the leader's duty? They have to take the right decision on the right time. That Brahmaji understood that these personalities are not good. So I must stop it right now. I should not think that, okay, he's my son, so nice, Anyway, somehow it's my son, like Dhritarashtra we saw. Dhritarashtra was so blind. He thought that he's my son. Anyway, whatever he does, let him do. But Brahmaji understood, no, this is not the thing. I must stop it right now. But the way I am just describing, it looks sometimes very easy, but it's not so easy. Very difficult to convey the masses in a right way. We have various examples that how in one of the situation, actually all things are like that. The relations in this material world are so complicated, sometimes you try to present the thing also, you can't do it. One very famous pastime I was just thinking about Diti and Kashyap, husband wife. In the Vedic text it was not kind of divorce situation, so now he cannot go back like that. So anyway, when Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha were killed, Diti became so angry. This Indra, he had made plan, he made some truce with Vishnu, and now he is trying to, he has killed already. So I also want a son who will kill Indra. She has a destructive plan, but she is approaching very silently. Sometimes it may come to us also, because in this material world we don't know the hidden agenda of various person, those who are approaching. In Bengali it is said that Ati Bhakti Chore Lakhan. Too much devotion, a sign of something fishy. So yes, we have to be very alert actually, because we don't know to whom we are dealing actually. So Kashyap Muni, he was, as wife and husband, what is the problem? They are just serving, and Diti is serving so nicely, very faithfully, very politely, and Kashyap is thinking, such a nice wife I have got. Oh. And then he becomes pleased after all the services, and then he goes, the main agenda comes. Diti, then he says that, okay, my dear wife, I am very pleased, please ask something. And then he says that, I want a son who can kill Indra. First of all, he also becomes angry, but he becomes angry because of himself. That how I was fool, how much fool I was, that I could not understand the intention of this lady who was just trying to serve me with different ill motives. So I'm just giving you this example that, the destructive mentality and different things will be there. Because as we are just trying in this material world, those who are in the Grihastha ashram, they are also trying to get or beget the children. So it may not be all the time that they are the Vaikuntha Vasis, because in this material world, the conditioned souls comes. So we must be aware that yes, how we can engage actually. Kashyap, rather becoming angry on Diti, he says, okay, you have planned what to do, I have already promised you also. So many times we should be very careful by giving promises. So Kashyap says that, okay, now I am giving one formula, on tapasya, the pumsavan vrat, that you must perform this austerity for 1 year, and then you will get your desired result. But if you fail, then he will be the friend of Indra. And then she thinks that, okay, I have achieved it, very nice, and she was nicely following it, very nicely, because Kashyap Muni could understand that yes, the only one way to purify these all kind of different souls, that is engaging them in the service of the Lord. Until as they are engaged in the service of the Lord, their destructive mentality will never go. So that's what one of the famous Bhagavatam we heard that. Akam sarva-kam ova moksha-kam udarditi brena bhakti yogena yajit pursa param. That whatever, whether you have desire, you don't have desire, you moksha, kam, whatever things, you engage in the service of the Lord. So that's what Kashyap Muni did, that I don't have any option. But now he cannot say that, okay, walk off, you just get out from my house. But different relations are so complicated sometimes. You can't teach them also, because you don't know whether they will accept your instruction or not. So we see different, in the past times also, in the Bhagavatam it is filled that how different sages also they go, but they are afraid to give the instruction. And in the 7th canto it is said that generally all the the devote means like the great sages or the Mahatmas, they are generally silent. So in that it is explained that why they are silent. Because they don't just mingle with different person, and they also keep reserve, because if they talk with them, that person, whether he will take it, accept it or not. So very important from that lesson. And this whole scenario what is happening. And one of the situation which happened with King Vena, when he was enthroned with the sages. Sages only actually appointed King Vena. But he was doing so much nonsense. He was just creating problem, destroying all the Varnashram culture, destroying Brahminical culture, everything. And then Brahmana became alert, because we have appointed him. The Brahmanas, they were thinking that we have appointed him as a king, and now he is doing the wrong. Now we must go and console him, give him some good advice. And then all the Brahmanas, they go over there, and very politely actually he is trying to express their concern. That okay, what you are trying to do, this is not good. But he became angry. He became angry. And then later we know that how the great sages actually cursed him, and then he was dead. So yes, we may also have different services in our own respective zones, and it may be very difficult many times. So only one thing we have, that we cannot escape the responsibility. We can only express our concern to the particular seva authorities and others. And that too also be very humble way, so that others can understand. Because many times it happens that we try to convey the masses and it goes wrong. So yes, definitely we must be very careful that how we instruct them. Because after all, many times after so much instruction also, because the conditioning is so much, the different personalities, they cannot go beyond in their own devotional service. One of the pastime, His Holiness Yadunandan Maharaj, he was explaining in one of the class that how in Prabhupada time, one of the devotee, he was practicing Krishna consciousness, but he was not taking initiation. So so many years passed away, and then different time devotees, they asked him that why you are not taking initiation. And then he expressed later, that after taking the initiation, that I was not getting the strength to say no to the smoking. And I don't want to mention the name, I'm just saying what happened. So when I was thinking about, the past time what Yadunandan Maharaj expressed, and at the different present context also, many times different devotees, they express their concern that, I am in Krishna consciousness for so many years, not making so much advancement, whether I am, making some progress, or so many things. So it's many times very difficult. And then I was reading this Bhagavad-gītā, Chatusloki Bhagavad-gītā, 10.10, Tesam satyuktanam bhajatam pratipurvakam dadami buddhiyovam tam yena mam upyanti te. And in that, Prabhupada in the Purport, he makes very unique contribution. I'll just read as it is. A person may have a bona fide spiritual master and may be attached to a spiritual organization, but if he is still not intelligent enough to make progress, then Krishna from within gives him instructions so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty. So I was just thinking that if we have bona fide, guru, we are in the society, how come we are not making advancement? Then I was just thinking about this incident when the devotees were asking that after being so many years, not making advancement. And Prabhupada is just nail it, that yes, it may happen because of not having the intelligent enough. Because in this Kali Yuga, sometimes it is said that common sense is not so common. So So we see that yes, how different situations are there that we get stuck. But if we are still engaged in the devotional service favorably towards the Lord, Krishna within our heart, He guides us. He guides us. So how we can get this kind of intelligence? In the Srimad Bhagavatam 7th canto, Prahlad Maharaj, the conversation in that he explaining, and Prabhupada writes in the Purport, that our intelligence, if we have to serve the intelligence, then we must serve the spiritual master and adhere to the instruction given by our spiritual master. So yes, it may appear that okay, I am not making any advancement at present, but still if we go on, definitely we will make it. And that's what Brahmaji is trying to convey the message, that you do penance. I know it's difficult for you at present, but that is the ultimate goal which you have to reach. You have to perform. If you don't perform the penance, it's difficult to approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So okay, I'll just summarize what we discussed in today's class. So here we discussed that how Brahmaji has a very difficult task, and he was knowing also, but there was no escape for him. He has to take the responsibility, and many times it comes to us also. So we can share our concern that what is the problem, but still we have to take up the services, and ultimately we have to understand that these kind of destructive element will do only destruction. So the best part is that engage them on the Krishna consciousness. And as a leader, a very important point, take the right decision on right time. Brahmaji took, okay, stop it. And at present, if the leaders of the world can realize that what is happening because of this Rajugun, Tamagun, people are just fighting and devouring different other personalities. So the world can be some extent be peaceful to stay. But definitely this is not the purpose to stay back here, rather engaging ourselves and going back to Godhead. And that's what Brahmaji is trying to convey the message to the Rudra, that you engage in the austerity and approach the Supreme Personality Godhead. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any comments or Hare Krishna and reflections?
Thank you, Prabhu. I think you mentioned or tried to relate that for us, tapasya is not like it's described in the histories of the universe by celestial beings and great powerful yogis in different yugas. I think you said for us our tapasya is just following the orders of a bona fide spiritual master. So yes, that's true. It is tapasya for a devotee to not take intoxications, not have illicit sex, not gamble, and not eat abominable foods. But what I was thinking is what happened with Srila Prabhupada, because these are great personalities performing tapasya being described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. For us, here in Kali Yuga, that greatest personality who performed tapasya was our Srila Prabhupada. He was in the renounced order, which meant something, not even the ISKCON way of renounced order. Real renounced order. And he leaves India alone with no money and goes to the most materialistic country on the planet that is completely, their religion is sense gratification, their business is sense gratification, their eating and sleeping and everything is sense gratification. And he goes there alone with no money. Now he's in a foreign country. So if your guru had told you, okay, I'm sending you alone to a foreign country, who could do that? Any one of us in this room could just, we get an order, just go to some the worst foreign country and by yourself? That's what Prabhupada did. And because he had no money, he had to live in the worst slum-like places in New York. When the first year Prabhupada was living in, they call it an SRO. You have to be a New Yorker to know this. SRO is a type of like formal cheap hotel where they convert the rooms into SROs. Single resident occupancy. One person, no bath, no shower, no toilet in the room, maybe a sink, maybe. And the bathroom and the shower is down the hall, common, with all the poorest, most drug-addicted people. That's the bathroom that Prabhupada had to share because he was alone, living in that type of room. And because of the type of people that live in buildings like that, one day when he was out trying to sell his books to bookstores in New York City, some low-class, fallen, abominable person broke into Prabhupada's single room and stole his one manuscript that he was working on to give the world Bhagavad-gītā. So he'd already had a heart attack. He's living in abominable conditions. He has no money. And now his life's work, but give the world Bhagavad-gītā, has just been stolen. So if any of us had been sent to a foreign country with no money, living in the worst slum in that country, and then whatever little you did have and whatever your service was, it's all stolen, who would stay? What one of us would continue to stay for a whole year like that? We have to understand the example of tapasya by looking at the life of Prabhupada when he left India. That's Krishna conscious tapasya for all the ISKCON devotees to meditate on and to be amazed by and almost cry that Prabhupada had to suffer so much. So I just wanted to add that
Thank you.
concept of tapasya for us ISKCON devotees.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
We give the example of Diti, that she had a material, actually a destructive motivation, but her husband engaged her in devotional service and she was able to do it. She completed the whole process and became purified of her desire. What I see in our society of devotees is it's the opposite scenario, that we have a lot of sincere devotees that actually want to make spiritual advancement, they want to come closer to Krishna, please their gurus, and they're given the process, Mangalarti, 16 rounds, 4 regs, class, all that, service, preaching, but they're not able to do it. They actually want to go to Mangalarti, but they just can't get it together. They can't get out of bed. They want to complete 16 rounds, but somehow or other, they're not completing. So, what is your recommendation for devotees who might be in that scenario?
I live here in Brahmachari ashram. One of the devotee who was facing this kind of problem, although he had alarm clock, everything, he wanted to come for Mangalarti, but many times he was missed. So he came for some days and he said that, Prabhu, I will stay in your room, And then he stayed back in my room, although I didn't give him a cot. He was just simply lying on the floor with small chatai and everything. And then I hope he took up the process. So sometimes it requires till the time it comes in a habit. Because that platform has to be given. Although many times we come, but that kind of association is required. Like even in my own circle, when my different friends, my college friend who also is Brahmachari here, he don't come, so I inquire about that. Why didn't you come for Mangalarti? And then he explains about his different scenario. Then I sometimes, help him also. I remember one time, one devotee was not getting up. So I was just knocking at his door. He was becoming annoyed also. But he understood that, okay, I am just making him awake. And yes, as I said already, and we know from here, that when we are also helping them, difficult. Some devotees, they face problem with their mobiles. They give their mobile to different devotees when they required. At that particular time only they take it from them and use it. So simple things are there. Just we need to apply, that's all. Some problems will be there because definitely, because in that room you don't know what time they are going to sleep, maybe 9:30, 10, 10:30. So your sleep will be little bit checked, not up to the 6 hours, but at least you will make it to some of the very essential aspect of our Krishna consciousness, that is Mangalarti, chanting together with the devotees, the Sanarti, Srimad Bhagavatam class. Like I see some devotees, they say, Prabhuji, when I sleep, you just wake me up in the class. So very humble, gentle approach. So if we take that one, then definitely we'll progress surely. So that's what my, approach which I do. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Gantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.